What's up guys, my name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. In today's video, we're working on this older Buick Lucerne. So guys, this vehicle, right here, an older Buick Lucerne we're going to be working on. It's going to receive a full paint correction and ceramic coating. And I know you might be thinking, why on this older Buick Lucerne? Because the customer wants it. You know guys, we're not here detailing fancy luxury and exotic cars. We are here detailing the everyday car, the daily driver, sometimes the mom mobile, the minivans, the SUVs, whatever vehicle the customer has and whatever type of service that they want, that's what we're going to give. Now, true, when we're talking to the customer and looking over the vehicle, there are some things that we can't do, that we're not able to do on the vehicles, but we give it our best and we communicate with the customer because that is of prime importance. So if you are a detailer, whether mobile or a shop garage location, communicating with your customer, asking them questions, helping them to understand what they want for their vehicle and the expectations. How are things going to come out? So guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell. That way you get notifications each time these videos drop each week and you don't miss stuff. So let's take a look at the vehicle. So here's the Lucerne, and as you can see, the headlights right away, those need to be refinished. And check out the paint. Look how faded and oxidized it is. Now, they were trying to do something here, and well, that actually is a good sign. You can see that they were trying to maybe hand polish away some of this oxidation, and it actually started to shine up. Now, that's not the spot we did. We actually did a little spot on the back just to make sure that it would come out, and I think we're going to get pretty good results. And the color is going to look beautiful once it's polished and coated. Wheels, nothing fancy, just nice aluminum wheels. We're going to clean those up, maybe do a little hand polishing and make them look really, really nice. Any of the other little chrome and aluminum bits on the vehicle we're going to polish up and coat. We're going to coat the face of the wheels here as well. But as you can see, the top surface here, very, very faded. And we do have some of these, what I call like tree and mold spots, basically just junk from trees hitting the paint, etching into it a little bit. So we're going to see what we can do for that. So really all the top surfaces are the worst. And here's where we polish just this little corner just to make it look better. And already it's dirty, but I think it will come out reasonably well. So I'm hoping for the best, but you know, as a detailer, you never know what's going to happen when you start digging into a vehicle and polishing it. We're going to take some measurements after we wash it and prep it to make sure we have enough clear coat to play with. We'll restore the plastics, and we'll also put a coating on the windshield. So all of that and more coming up. So guys, what coating should we use? We've been using the G-Technic recently. We've been using the Epic ceramic coating, but I don't have enough of that to put on this vehicle. So let's see what other coatings we have to play around with. So let's go with the Double Black Diamond P&S Inspiration Ceramic Coating. So in this little kit, it does come with the little applicator and then of course a 30 ml bottle of the coating itself. Now this will be plenty to coat the vehicle and most likely the wheels as well. So this is what we'll use on the Buick Lucerne. vehicle is pulled in, it is washed, it's chemically deconned, and I just didn't run the mitt over it. It actually felt really smooth. However, there are a few little things here and there, like little artillery fungus things. They're not tar, they're artillery fungus. That's what that is right there. So I'm going to show you guys, you know, how to remove it. It's really not that difficult. Usually you can pick off the top, but you're left with this little brown anchor, and it's really the mold glue. These are fungus spores, and that is the glue underneath it that it adheres to anything. Really, really annoying, and they can be all over the car. So as we go through the vehicle, yeah, definitely the bottom portions here are just crunchy from contaminants. And as you can see, it is extremely oxidized and faded, but I think we can bring it back. So we'll work on that. Let's get to claying some of these portions. We'll show you how we do that. So it's not difficult. It's nothing magical. It is simply using a clay lube and some clay bar, and you really just work it into that spot, and you be a little aggressive. You just use the tip of your finger with the clay bar, and you really work at removing that little anchor, and it will eventually come loose, or at least abrade away, because the clay bar does have some abrasive qualities. Now, granted, you are going to be marring this area up pretty heavily, but again, that's just what you need to do sometimes. So now it's removed, and I can tell that it's marred up, but we'll have to compound and polish this anyway. So I'm going to be a little aggressive on this. So the top surfaces don't really feel that gritty at all. Nothing attaches itself to this oxidized paint. I mean, barely anything. And we're going to be compounding this pretty heavily. Oh, there's another artillery fungus right there. Let's focus on that. So you can kind of hear that. Now, a lot of guys think it's tar, but it's not. If you look up artillery fungus, you'll see that these little spores actually will shoot up to 20 to 30 feet from moldy grass and mulch areas. So it just takes a little bit of aggression with the clay bar, but you can remove them. So it's just a clay bar, clay lube, that's it. Nothing special. And what I'm using is lithium luster lube and their clay bar. That's it. You don't have to use this. You can use whatever lube that you want. But let's go around the vehicle and clay bar it. There's another little artillery fungus, so I'll be aggressive with it again. Now you might be saying to yourself, you're using luster lube, it has SiO2 in it, it has protection in it, it has polymers. Who cares? Why is that such a big deal? It's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm going to be compounding it, but I have the product. I like the way it works, so I'm using it. Simple as that. You know, when it comes to detailing, so many people have their own opinions, and sure, your opinion might matter to you, but keep it in its place. If it's an opinion that you have, a strong opinion, okay, go ahead and state it, but it's not law. So don't expect everybody to bow to that opinion. I have found certain techniques, certain things that work for me, and sometimes it goes against what detailers conventionally think and do. Now again, remember, if you're a detailer, what type of detailer are you? Are you a mobile guy? Are you a car washer? Are you working outdoors primarily? Do you have a high-end shop? Those are all different forms of detailing. I know some are going to disagree, but that is a fact. A mobile detailer cannot perform the same type of service, not the same type, as a shop can, a high-end shop. For instance, I love Chicago Auto Pros. They are what I consider a high-end shop. I do not compare myself to them at all. They are here, and I'm here. So for me, I realize my own position in the scheme of detailing, I know I'm not a high-end shop. I know I'm not going to get exotic vehicles in here and charge thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't do PPF film. I don't do tinting. That's another avenue of detailing. I also don't have any accreditation with any other ceramic coatings. I don't know if I will or won't. All I know is I work out of my garage at my home. It's set up beautifully for detailing, but I am at a certain level with detailing. So when people criticize other detailers, well, they're really not seeing the whole picture. So realize that. Look at the whole picture. Look at their demographics, look at where they live, look at what type of customers are in their area, and what type of services they're going to want. Not everybody can do high-end detailing. Not everybody can charge the same amount as everyone else. Not everybody is going to use the same chemicals as everybody else. So if you have an opinion about how I'm doing something, just state the opinion or ask a question. Don't say this is useless. Don't say he doesn't know what he's doing, or you're supposed to do XYZ instead of ABC. Ask questions before you type, because you may not know what you're talking about at all. Intelligent people, scholars, scientists, don't just come out with statements, blunt, ignorant statements. They do the research, they ask questions, which a good scientist should. Then they find the evidence, they test it, they see what works against what doesn't work. The results will speak for themselves. That's how intelligence works. Not seeing something, making an ignorant statement about it, and then I have to, well, kind of teach you that you should be asking questions and not just saying stupid things. Now I know I went on a little rant there, but you know what? I'm in teaching mode. I make these videos because I want my customers to see what we do, primarily. And as a result of that, other detailers, other people who want to become detailers and improve their skills will ask questions because they see the results that we're getting. So, great. That is excellent. Ask tons of questions. Don't just assume, and don't think that your way is the right way no matter what. I do certain things because I have the experience in doing it and it works for me and it produces the results that I need and I want. If I do see a need to change something, then I'll make the changes, which I have, and then I've gone back to the way that I was doing it because that certain change wasn't working. So something that somebody suggested in their supposed intelligence ended up not really being correct at all. Maybe their technique is different and it works for them. But for me, if I try something and it doesn't work as far as a technique, then I'm going to go back to the way that I was doing it before because it was working. So a perfect example is what I'm doing right now. I didn't use the clay mitt because I get a lot of goofy comments saying that the clay mitt, while washing the vehicle and using it after you wash a panel, is going to grind dirt into the paint and all of that. However, they miss the fact that we already rinsed it, we pre-rinsed it, we use an APC rinse, which soaks all of the nasty dirt and grime, softens it up, we rinse again, which will blast all of that heavy damage material off the paint. You're left with very, very little, if any, heavy particles on the paint that are going to grind into the paint. That's what I mean by thinking before you type, and watch the whole thing and listen. That's what learning is, right? Watch, listen. So this is what I'm doing. I am clay barring the vehicle instead of using the clay mitt. So that's what I'm doing. I am claying the vehicle after everything is washed and chemically deconned instead of using the clay mitt during the wash process. So what are my findings? What is the benefit of doing it this way instead of using the clay mitt in the wash process? Think about what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing a paint correction, right? Compounding, polishing, getting the swirls, oxidation, light scratches out of the paint. I understand that some people have the idea that you don't want to be putting more damage into the paint, but really when you think about it, are you really putting that much more damage onto the paint if you followed all of the little procedures that I already outlined in the beginning of the video? With the pre-rinsing, the APC rinse, getting all that grime off the paint, it's negligible. It really is. So what I'm finding is This takes more time, I'm using more product, and the results are going to be the same. Clay bar still mars the paint. Even after the chemical deconning, iron removal, tar removal, all that stuff, clay bar looks exactly the same as it would if I didn't do that. How do I know that? Because after doing thousands of vehicles, I've seen the evidence. So I know for a fact, for me, that this whole thing that I'm doing, it's nice for the camera. People like to see it, and gives me an opportunity to show people and to teach people that the reason why we're doing certain things in our videos is for a reason. It's because we have the years of experience, we've tested it out, and that's what works. All right, now, as we go into the engine bay, I'm going to dress it in here and wipe down some of the surfaces. Now you noticed in there, those little grill slats, there's like a little mesh in there. It took us forever to get all those leaves out of there. The pressure washer wasn't quite working, and then we used the air compressor, that wasn't quite working. So what we had to do is kind of pick at it with brushes and use the vacuum to suck it up, and that worked really, really well. So sometimes you gotta try a couple of different things. So what I have here is Mcguire's Hyper Dressing diluted 1:1, and it makes a perfect engine dressing because it's water-based, and I like how it kind of melts into the plastics. And it's very easy. It's great for mobile detailers because of its usage. You can dilute it up to 4:1 if you want, and it just produces such great results. Now I like to come in here with a towel and just wipe down all of the painted surfaces and any other non-plastic and rubber surfaces, and go over some of the seals here to make them look really, really nice. And I usually like to wipe down the control arm here. Don't go too crazy with removing grease from here because it needs that grease. So clean just this arm here, around the base a little bit, just don't touch this. And true, it may have got a little water and degreaser on it, but that's not a big deal. Just don't wipe it down too much. Now this is going to be covered by the hood, but I am going to polish this just to make it look nice. So as we go into our paint correction, you'll notice that we'll either hand polish it, or maybe I'll choose my little 1-inch polisher to get in there and shine up these areas. But now I'm just going to close the hood, let that soak in, and usually as a mobile detailer, I'll let this soak in, we'll start the vehicle, we'll go inside it, do our cleaning inside, warms up everything in here, and it kind of melts the dressing into the plastic. It absorbs and it makes it look awesome. All right guys, so day 2, the vehicle was washed and deconned yesterday. Let's start polishing this and this out. Just so that I can close the hood, it'll be out of sight, out of mind, all done. Look how nice all the plastics in the engine bay look. Now, if you don't like this high of a gloss, you can knock it down and it'll be fine. But this looks really nice. I actually like the way that that looks. So let's get to polishing these little areas, then we'll close the hood and start on the hood. All right, these areas look really, really nice. I'm not going to worry about popping these to get under there. This is under the hood. I just wanted it to look glossy and get all that oxidation off. So when you pop the hood, that looks awesome. All right, done with that. Let's get started on this horrible oxidation. Oh, hi, Mushti. It's nice in here, huh, Mushti? Yeah, it's nice. It's nice for the Mushti. All right, Mushti. It's going to get bright in here and a little loud. All right, guys. I'm going to attack this with microfiber cutting pad and D300. It's my usual go-to. But I have some other products that I will be using today. But let's see what we can do in this little area. Oh, battery went. No problem. Oh boy. Yep. This is definitely going to take some time to get the oxidation off of here. However, that is looking pretty awesome. Now, this is just a little IPA mixture sample that I got years ago, so I'm just going to use it up. All right, guys, now, what do you think? Oh, that is incredible. So, heavy oxidation is a pain to remove. I had to go over it quite a few times to get it to that clarity, but it will gum up your pads, so make sure to have your brush or an air compressor, clean out your pads. But guys, that is going to be what the paint will look like. Pretty awesome. Very, very happy with those results. So let's tackle the rest of this. What I'll do is I will do the whole half here of the hood to show you the 50-50 results, because it is going to be dramatic. Oh, that's so nice. Before I do that, let's go over the paint with the light and just inspect. This paint is pretty forgiving, it seems, because it's really hard to focus on the swirls, but it definitely has swirls. So that, oh yeah, that will be cleared up. That will be cleared up. Now the roof is the same as the hood. It is really, really bad. So these areas are going to take the longest on the top. Oh, especially that. That's horrible. But this is pretty typical. So these should clear up fairly easily. So yeah, wheels are already looking really nice, but we'll go through them because there's a little bit of corrosion there that'll hand polish out or use the little 1-inch polisher. This will all be cleared up. It will look amazing. Beautiful color too. There's some spots here that's touch-up paint. Nothing we can do there. But overall, this thing is in great shape. Oh yeah, look at these pillars. Oh, okay. That'll make for some great before and after footage. And these little areas will polish. Get in there with your towel and some polish or a little applicator. These areas too will polish up to make them look nice. A little bit of the dressing already went onto here, but we will also put a coating on all the plastics. We'll wipe all that down with IPA to remove that. All right. Now that you've had a look at the paint, that's before this. And that's just compounded, so that can be refined a little bit more to make it look even more crisp. Let's get to it. What are you gonna do?
Polish.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right, guys, this is pretty insane, but we're getting there. I was gonna do half the hood, but I'm tackling this as heavily as I can. So I switched over to purple foam wool pad. I'm using M100. It's pretty heavy duty stuff. And I know some people are going to say, that's for rotary only. You know what? We do what works, and it works. I've used it before for DAs, and it works great. Jess is doing a great job here getting rid of this oxidation, and we're just going to go heavy and really just strip all this oxidation off. I did take paint measurements. There's plenty of paint to play with, and I know that's probably, you know, that top layer is failing, so there's no guarantee that this clear coat is healthy and it won't start doing that again even after we coat it. There's no guarantee. The paint can be weird, we just don't know. So even after all of this, we refine it, the paint looks perfect, and we coat it. I don't know how long it will truly last because of how bad it was. But, you know, at this point, we're going to make it look as good as possible for the customer. It is clearing up. It's just taking a long time, and it's taking some heavy compounding. And those are just swipe marks from the towel because I was using the panel wipe from G-Technic, and it's just so strong. The residue builds in the towel, and then it swipes across the paint and causes those lines. But that's okay. That's easy to get out. We're just attacking the oxidation. So I got a feeling the roof here is also going to be a bear to remove. That's okay.
Okay.
guys, check this out. Look how good it is looking. So we just have this little corner piece right here, and we're just compounding, so you're still going to see some little marring and things like that. Even though it looks very crisp and nice, it will look even better. All right, guys, I had to get this on camera because I think it's going to come out nice. So it doesn't take long to polish. So we remove the residue with a very, very light touch, going over it and just removing thin layers of the residue at a time. That way we don't harm the finish. It's just good practice to do that because of delicate finishes that may need that type of attention. And yes, we overlapped. You may have noticed that we overlapped. We always do that when we're compounding or polishing anyway. It just produces a better finish as we go along the edges. So now that looks perfect. It did a great job of cutting down the oxidation, removing the heavy defects, and now it's nice and crisp and clear. So from that to that, that's incredible. It's actually kind of hard to focus on. All right, guys, we're making our way around. This is by far the worst area because it has some really deep swirls and scratches in here as well. So we're chewing off all the oxidation, but then we're going to have to deal with the swirls underneath as well. So the roof here, as you saw, is coming out really nice. Look at that. That's before, this is after. Huge improvement, but it is taking multiple cuts to get it to this. So we're pretty much just cutting the entire vehicle first, and then we're going to go and polish after. But that'll be very quick and very easy. We had to switch over to the little M85 from MacShine. And this thing is pretty powerful. Go ahead and start compounding that area. And even though it has, you know, a lower millimeter throw, the power alone really does make a difference. Example of knowing when to stop. We have been compounding this roof, the trunk, the hood's already done, and we took readings on the hood and they're still healthy. They're about 4 1/4 average. And up here, it's okay. Actually, where I cut up here, it looks pretty decent. I'm gonna do a little bit more cutting just to make it look better. But as we start going back here, see all these heavy swirls still? This was actually the worst area for oxidation and swirls. And look at the readings. I can't go too much farther. I'm going to go a little tiny bit more, but see already? That is not good. I don't really want to go any lower than that. So I had to cut pretty heavy here. How far should I go? I'm going to go just a little bit more, and that's it. If these swirls still remain, or a little bit of them still remain, we're going to have to live with it, because these readings are too low. I don't want to go any further and risk any damage. Now let's look at the trunk. Wow. Oh my goodness, what a difference. There's a huge deep scratch there. Can't do anything about that. And yeah, we had to cut this pretty heavy. Oh, but that's not bad. Okay, that's really good. Some areas we had to go a little bit deeper because of some light scratches, but the paint readings on here are pretty healthy still. So that's good. Oh yeah, that lip back here, we need to hit it a little bit more. Not bad. We can go a little bit heavier on there and make sure to remove that. So, not bad. Oh, right there. Yeah, so this edge here, I believe that was pretty bad. Those scratches are really, really bad. Yep, so you don't want to go any further on that, but check out the results. That is incredible. Man, what a difference. And we're working on the roof, and it also looks dramatically improved. Awesome. Everything is pretty much done. I just have that pillar there to finish. And now we're on to finishing and polishing. And man, it is coming out incredible. So we're using Sonax Perfect Finish with an orange Lake Country pad. And that seems to do the trick. You don't always need to use a super soft pad. That pad right there is the perfect thickness, the perfect amount of cut and finish to finish out heavy compounding, and it's great. Alright guys, these pillars are looking awesome. All the oxidation was cut out of them. Just needs to be finished using the Sonax Perfect Finish, so we will get to that. But I did tape this off because this rubber here was definitely a huge section of rubber that I didn't really want to go up against. I wasn't really worried about these, and that's deep enough in there that you can't even get to. So if you are worried about it, you can tape it up. It's not a big deal though. If it stains your pads a little bit, it's not a huge deal. Some think that it will tear up the rubber and then it will rip this up. Well, I don't know about that. I haven't seen that to be the case. That though, this was too big of a section. I definitely wanted to protect that. So, looking pretty awesome. And that was just using D300. Not bad. Alright guys, we're almost there. We are now finished polishing, and wow, what a huge turnaround. Incredible. We're working with the Sonax Perfect Finish and it is producing amazing results. So nice and crisp. Now I haven't polished this section yet, still a little bit hazy as you can see, but it's going to finish out to look like this. So nice. Now, if you remember how bad this was, I mean, there were some deep gouges and scratches, lots of oxidation. All the oxidation is gone, just those deep gouges remain. But I think the customer is going to be extremely happy with this. So, finished polishing is now done. And everything is looking awesome. Actually, she's just finishing up the little black gloss pieces there that are part of the pillars. And we just finished these, so they look incredible. You want to know what we used? The orange Lake Country pad and Sonax Perfect Finish. Awesome results. And I didn't use the little polisher for this. I actually just used the 15mm throw. And I do that because sometimes the smaller polishers with the smaller pads, I don't know, they actually will mar up the finish more than the 15mm throw will. So this finishes out better with the bigger polisher. Everything else looks incredible. Look how crispy and clear that looks. Check out the trunk. Wow. Yeah, see these big defects here? I'm not going to dig those out. Those are way too deep. And already we've taken off, I don't know, a few microns of paint, but that's as far as we're going to go. There are some other swirls and scratches in this corner of the roof right here, but it's already below 4 mils, and I'm not going any further. Now that everything is polished, we are going to do a light IPA wipe down of the paint. We already did kind of an in-between IPA with the plastics and the rubber, so that will be ready to coat. So now we're just going to IPA the paint. Actually, I'm going to hit a few of these little areas that need some hand polishing, and I'll do that first, and then we'll start to IPA everything. Headlights came out great. Look how nice they came out. Yep, and that was just heavy compounding and some polishing on the headlamps. And then the chrome grille here we hand polished. There's still a few little areas that I need to get into underneath there. But that looks incredible. So what an amazing turnover. All right, guys, everything is now ready for coatings. We are going to do a light IPA wipe down. So I have my own alcohol mixture here that I made. And what are you looking at? Oh, Amazon. So we take a clean microfiber towel and just lightly mist the towel and wipe the panel down. Just enough so that it flashes off quickly. As you can see, it flashes very, very quick. We used Sonak's Perfect Finish, so being a water-based finishing polish, it's not going to have a lot of oils in it, and even the other polishes that we use don't have a lot of oils, and just doing a light wipe down is enough to remove those oils. You don't want to harm the finish after spending so many hours polishing it. So just go over meticulously each panel, wipe it down, and then we'll be ready for the coatings. And once that's all wiped down, we're going to start with the plastics first and coat all the plastics. Then we'll get to the paint. Of course, we'll just coat the headlights with the coating, and the wheels will coat last. I already put a windshield coating. I used G-Technic G5. Now, this stuff does need to cure. Like all the other coatings, it needs, I would say, at least 24 hours. Let it sit overnight, 24 hours to cure, and then you'll be good to go. Same with all the other coatings. They need proper cure time before they get wet, unless they won't bond. So for the trim, we're using the Pinnacle Black Diamond Trim Restore and Ceramic Coating. It does a great job of restoring and protecting the trim. It does have some black pigment in it, so it is going to restore that nice, dark, rich look to the plastic, and it's adding protection, ceramic protection as well. It is considered a ceramic coating, so for the trim, you're looking anywhere between 18 to 24 months, depending on how the car is cared for. And usually, when you put a ceramic coating on the trim like this, when you're maintaining the vehicle and you use any type of silica spray sealants, it can go right on the trim as well, and it'll bond right to it. So remember that when you're doing maintenance details on ceramic coated vehicles, you can spray whatever you want, CarPro Reload or the G-Technic one, whichever one you want, G-On Cure, and you can spray it onto the paint. And also remember, you can spritz it onto your towel and wipe down the plastic trim with it, and it will keep that nice, dark, rich look. So as you can see, the little towel there, we use just a little 2-inch square microfiber towel. It gets into all these little intricate areas really well. If it does get onto the paint, don't worry, it just wipes off. It gets onto glass, it just wipes off. It's pretty nice stuff to use. All right, guys, so we're going to coat the vehicle now using the Inspiration coating from P&S. It does come with this little black applicator, and it's almost like a velvety type of microfiber. I'm kind of unsure about it. Here's a tip, though, if you're going to use these microfiber applicators, is use your air compressor and blow them out first. only because they will get little bits of lint and things in there that could potentially scratch. Same goes with the little microfiber or the micro suedes. Blow them out so that you don't have any particles in them. So we'll start with this black one first, and see if we like it. And if we don't like it, we'll ditch it and go back to our usual way of applying the coating. So when cracking this open, you also want to clean the tip of this really well. All right, let's go with the little corner here like we usually start with. Let's see how it applies. Like usual. Oh, it flashes off a lot quicker.
Guess I'm just not used to this applicator.
Yeah, the applicator's a little weird. Did it flash away already? Yeah, it kind of did. It flashed away very fast. And it's a little bit of a grabby coating, so I can definitely feel where it's been. And that's nothing bad, it's just something of note. Some coatings are grabby, some are more slick. However, it's a nice clean wipe off. It does flash away quickly, so that is good. So minimal wiping effort. It just flashes into the paint, and yeah, not bad. All right, so continue using that. And make sure to overlap into that section and go in nice cross-hatch patterns to make sure you get nice, even coverage.
I don't know if I like this.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. It's just coating.
It might be. We'll switch over to the blue applicator and see if that makes a difference. It is a nice, easy wipe off, so that is good. It's not leaving any smearing behind, nothing that I can see.
Oh, yeah, I like this way better.
Yeah, it applies it much better.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't like that other one at all.
Yeah, so that looks like it's much easier to apply with the blue applicator. We just don't like that velvety one. And again, it's still a grabby type of coating, so just be wary of that. And I have our aprons on, so first wipe towel, second wipe towel. So you can see it there, you can see the edge, that little square. And you can see it starting to flash away. See if I can focus here. You can kind of see it on the paint. So let's take our towel, help it along to flash away. And then it's nice and clear and crisp. And second towel, oh yeah, it definitely gets grabby.
Oh, you can see a distinct line where it is
Yeah,
and where it's not.
it definitely makes the paint nice and rich and glossy. Oh, look, there's a spot right here that I missed. And in the flat light, you can kind of see it right up here. Just make sure to hit that. And this is an area where you really have to stretch over. And that's why it's good to have the microfiber, because we haven't coated this yet. It's not going to scratch anything. All right, so now that you see the application part, we're going to set the camera here, and that way you can see the whole process time-lapsed. All right, guys, the Buick is done. What an amazing turnaround this was. Look at the incredible gloss and depth in the paint. Now, granted, it's an older vehicle, and when you saw that heavy oxidation on here, I really wasn't sure if it was going to come off or not, because at that point, that top layer of paint is dead. So it's failing, basically. But there was enough clear coat on here that we were able to revive it, remove that heavy oxidation, remove the swirls, and now look at the results. Incredible. The chrome grille, polished and coated. Headlights are polished and coated. The chrome wheels look incredible. They were polished and coated as well. And we use the same coating. So the P&S Inspiration coating we use in the paint and the wheels. We use the Pinnacle coating on the trim, but then we noticed this rubber here. So this is different than the windshield cowl here. This actually took the P&S coating really, really well. It actually darkened it up even more. So it can go on plastics and rubber as well. I was trying to read if it would go on that, and I couldn't really see anything. So, but you know, from experience, I know it will work. So the pillars are looking incredible. Remember how nasty they looked? Same here. The gloss black piece here, that looks nice and glossy and protected. This thing is ready to go. It is looking incredible. And we just finished coating it, so it's going to sit overnight for tomorrow, and the customer is going to pick it up tomorrow evening. But look at that. Now remember the trunk? Look how amazing the trunk looks. It looks incredible. You have a few deep defects in there that we're not going to tack, but again, we don't go crazy with removing every single little defect, because you can compromise the paint, and why go any further if the customer is not paying for that? Communicate with the customer well, let them know that not everything is going to come out. You think he's going to be happy with this outcome, the way that it looked before? Oh yeah, incredible. But really impressive results. Now we do have some weird defects here. This really has the heaviest defects. There's like a sap line here that etched into the paint, some other spots there that's actually paint touch-up, so we're not going to touch that area. Look how nice and crisp that looks. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, there's a few little deeper things in there that we're not going to really chase out completely. To a reasonable degree is where we want to be with paint corrections. We want to leave as much clear coat as possible while still producing awesome results. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Buick Lucerne. It is complete. Customer, again, will be picking up tomorrow, so it's going to sit overnight, completely cure. We'll be good to go. So if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know down below. If you're interested in any of the tools or the products that we used, also check out the links in the description. They'll go to either Amazon or Car Supplies Warehouse. And consider subscribing if you're enjoying videos like this, and click that bell. That way you get notifications each time these videos drop each week and you don't miss stuff. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great week. A VRP. That was recording.